Mama. Unions are the devil. I'm a firm believer in that. I worked for a union. I was an iron worker for a number of years and spent a good share of that time in a union. And I have to be honest with you, it was probably the worst experience I've ever had. Hi, Gage. How you doing? It was
Do you
probably the
think
worst
it's because
experience
you're in
I've
the
ever
wrong
had.
state?
It was New York. So
Okay.
thank you for the lucky clover. It was New York, so it could have been a wrong state, but I think in general, unions have surpassed their usefulness. So MPP, Jamie True, how you doing? Luck of the Irish, thank you. Appreciate that. So what I mean by they've surpassed their usefulness. Now, back in the Industrial Revolution, before we had real unions here in the US, things were fairly dangerous on most job sites or most jobs that you had, especially during the Industrial Revolution, because equipment wasn't safe, conditions weren't safe, labor laws didn't really exist. So you would have children working in the same type of environments as you would have adults working in, and it was fairly bad. And now you've got to the point where unions are only really after one thing. They're only interested in one thing, and that's money.
Yeah, your dues.
Yep. If they
But
can get the same amount of money and you not work, they're gonna do it.
well, that's what they do. But anyway, um, I don't know. They got their pros and cons, man. I gotta maybe because he was been in the union for 20 years. Maybe that's
So,
why there's more pros.
um, I was in the union for probably over 20 years. The minute I could get out of it, I did though.
But so you got a
Uh,
good pension.
no, 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 no. See, in the housing market crisis of '08, most of our pension went away.
What do you mean just went away?
Well, they had invested it in the stock market. So when the stock market took a dump, so did the pension.
Oh, all right. I didn't know it worked like that.
Yeah. It was a lot of folks lost their retirement assets. I
But
was
you're paying
fortunate
into
that I
all
had.
that as well. Like,
Mhm.
so, okay, so that's something added. I'm trying to figure this out. So with me, with the city, we opted out of Social Security
Sure. Well, I
and
mean,
I pay TMRS.
you're a government employee, so you're going to be
Right.
under a 503B.
It's there's a 403, but then there's a whole other thing. It's a
Mm,
retirement fund. Yeah, whatever it's
uh-huh.
called. So we have two. One is not near as secure as the other one, but still pretty secure. The TMRS fund, man, if that doesn't pay out, you may as well lock and load. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the end of
Yeah.
everything. If that thing don't pay out, the last thing you need to worry about is going to work.
Yeah.
You need to
Well,
start getting some chickens. You better start getting some cows. You better live off grid, right? So if that's pretty secure, I guess with pensions and stuff,
thanks, George.
not as secure as that.
Your team bad. Oh, okay.
All right.
Somebody thinks they're the stock market. Somebody thinks they're bad. I think these two should go together and not procreate. Uh,
I am the stock market.
anyway, when I when I was in the union, the only time that it was actually good was when you got the prevailing wage. Other than that, it was terrible. And prevailing wage, you got a boatload of money to do the job. But as far as actually working and doing whatever on the job site, it was terrible. Like it would just grind everything to a halt. You want to know why buildings, like building costs, go over budget? Why the you can't get your deadline set and met? It's because of the union.
Gotcha.
They have everything segmented. You can't do anything. You can't cross over. Even if you have the know-how and the wherewithal, you can't cross over and do anything. It's just that one job. That's all you do. And if
Right.
the next guy isn't there, he called off for a day or whatever, because union laborers suck balls. They'll just take off whenever they want because they can't get fired. They're part of the union. It'll be go to your union rep. It's freaking terrible to work with.
Yeah.
Like a bunch of degenerates are typically happy in the union. B Dub says a dues paying Teamsters opinion. By the way, what? Tools of
It
Souls. Unions
does.
are only interested in a large cut of your check, control, power, and politics. True that.
No.
And in New York State, you don't have the option to not be a part of the union. If you're in a trade, you have to be part of the union.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so you're already part of the union.
You don't have the option. They will fire you if you don't join the union. You don't have to go. Thank you for sending the love, Southern Girl. Appreciate that. You don't have to go to any of the meetings. You don't have to do any of the voting. As long as they can get your dues out of your check, you're good to go.
Now, how much are the dues out of your check? Let's say you pulled.
Just kind of depends.
Let's say you pulled $1,000 in a week. How much are they going to pull? At least 100,
No,
50.
I uh, I paid mine yearly, and they were always between $1,500 and $2,500.
Okay.
So I don't know what that works out to a check, but
Yeah.
it wasn't terrible. The dues aren't the terrible part. It's what they do, like how they control the as far as I'm concerned, how they control the job site. That's the terrible part of it.
Right. Right. Right.
Having them come in and hi Mitchell, Denny, having them come in and kind of control what can be said or done, or even the rate at which it can be done, is ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah.
While working on my planetarium, my supplier had sent completely plug and play racks. He went to the final install and all the wires were cut. Oh, yours are monthly? Well, I'm sure ours were monthly as well, but I just paid him I paid him annually because it was easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once you cut wires like that's a listed assembly, man. That whole thing's trash.
Mm.
Can't put a cord cap on it.
Yeah. Well, they didn't have Wagos? What?
You cut the cord off of something. It's listed and tested to be plugged in. You can't modify that. That's trash.
Oh,
Got to
wow.
call UL, get a $5,000 evaluation for them to say it's okay.
Mm. That's terrible. How's your week been?
I've got a 30-foot tree in the backyard
Oh,
that split and blew over. It missed my power line by about a foot, and it's laid over on the side, landed on the grill. And then the shed that we built, it was like that resin set one.
yeah.
That thing just folded up into origami. The roof was this way, the other roof was, it was just all snap in place. So I went out there and I stood it back up. There's no way in hell I was going to be able to lock it back into the bottom because you got to build that thing piece by piece. And as you lock it into the
Right.
bottom, like that one piece that was only 20 inches wide clicked in. Well, now I've got a 40-foot linear structure, that I'm trying to click in. It ain't happening. So I took a 45. I took the flex tools out there. And man, the flex is so good, dude, because look, you got a handful of things here. I've got 2 different bits. I've got 4 different types of screws, and they're all right here. Okay. Now, for me to have to get the bit out, I have to hold all this
Trips.
in my hand and pull this collet forward while also grabbing the bit simultaneously, right? So that would look something like this. And you'd have to grab it at the same time, right? Dude, the flex
Hmm.
is so awesome. I've got a handful of crap. You just push the little quick eject button and it doesn't take any. I mean, you can use the slightest little, you don't have to touch the collet. You just pop the bit in your hand and then you can switch it out. Man, dude, I freaking love the flex. It's so good. Anyway,
Yeah,
I put a
I know.
45 brace right off the other shed and pushed the other shed next to the other one because it's blowing like, I don't even know how fast outside, but it's crazy outside.
Yeah, we had snow today.
You had
It
snow. It's going
was
to be
yeah.
30 tonight.
We were 80 degrees yesterday. Woke up this morning and I think it was still 60 something degrees outside. And by the time my wife and I went to Walmart at 2 in the afternoon, it was already at like 40, and it's going to drop down to negative something with the wind chill. Hey, your tree's not supposed to look like that.
Yeah. And then
You need to take care of that. Oh, it almost hit your grill.
I know. It did hit the grill. I had to move it.
It didn't want you to barbecue.
And then I had to stand up stood the shed up, put a 45 brace. Where is it? Right there. There you go.
Hmm. Well, the shed looks fine.
Yeah, I had to rebuild it.
Joe, you're sure that what? What? Complete sentences. You have to complete the thought if you want other people to follow along. Here, it was 68 earlier. I'm in the same boat. It snowed here for about maybe an hour and a half. That was it. Snowmageddon 2026 is already over for me. What's great is today and tomorrow is going to be cold. I think tomorrow's a high of like 38, 39 degrees.
Yeah.
And then by Thursday, I think we're in the mid 80s.
Yeah. That's Texas as well.
Gotta like that. I didn't really have a subject in mind for tonight. I want to talk about unions, just get it off my chest because I think they're terrible. But
Just rag on the unions.
I hate them. I hated being in it. I hated the reps because the reps will
See, I've
walk around
I've never
just to
been
make
in a
sure
union, but I always
you
tell people the trade
you're
school that I
not
went
missing
to
out.
is like a union but it's way better. So, trade school I went to, you sign up for the trade school and they own you. They're going to
Sure.
find you the contractor. You're going to pay them a set amount of money out of your check every week, guaranteed.
Hmm?
And for 4 years, they're going to put you through school. Now,
Good idea,
I
Mitchell.
went to HVAC class. I went to a community college trade school for 3 years. And the books alone are $500. The tool
Uh-huh.
set alone is $500. And they're not paying you. You know what I mean? Like you're just going there to learn. So this trade school, you go to school, all the books were included, all the tools were included. You know what I mean? So uh, it was structured like a union, but it wasn't. It wasn't a union. It was just a trade school that had a really good way of keeping everyone engaged and also covering their end to pay the teachers. It's called IEC. It's a really good
Yeah.
program.
Well, see, to me, I think if you're gonna start in a trade, just start in a trade. Don't go to school. Don't waste your time doing all that stuff.
See,
Sure, the schooling's okay, but I think you're better off actually getting out there and getting that real world experience and then backing it up with maybe some in class stuff. But for the most part, I just don't. Eh. I
Yeah,
don't think the
I would
schooling
agree with
is
you,
needed.
except that the IEC stuff, they're going to guarantee you a job.
Hmm.
So, for some reason, if that job slows down or whatever,
What's up,
they're laying
Jan?
people off,
Thanks for
you're
the
more
happy
likely
people.
to be kept at that company because they're investing a little bit of money towards the school. So
Yeah.
you're like the last to go. So even in 08, 08, 09, whenever the crash was, we
Hmm.
were they were sending people home every Friday. Be like, all right, who's getting fired? And I knew I never had to worry about my job. I was the most productive. I wasn't the most useful because I just didn't know, right?
Sure.
But um, there was guys there that knew what they were doing more than me, but they were also making more money and they also weren't in school. So they were keeping everybody that was in school 100%, no doubt about
Yeah.
it. It's good and bad with it.
Yeah, I've never seen it. Normally, well, of course, I worked most of my career in New York, so first one on, first one to go, or last one on, first one to go. That's how they did it. They didn't care if you were in a school or what level of education you had. If you were the last one in, you were the first one out. All went by seniority. That's the way the union works. It doesn't matter your skill. It doesn't matter your abilities. Doesn't matter your knowledge, your know-how, your productivity. The only thing that mattered to them was how long have you been paying us?
Mm,
Union, because I was college bound effing $3.50 an hour. If I was in, they wouldn't let me in. Sorry, buddy. Sorry, George, but you're probably better
no,
off not getting in it.
yeah, no kidding. I'm sure Flex and Devault makes some awesome tools. Personally, I'm a Milwaukee guy just because it completely dominates the mechanical sector of work, but I peek over the fence with envy.
We
Well
have
put.
a term. We have a term for that here. It's called Milwaukee. Um, that's where you just buy Milwaukee because that's what you bought initially, and that's what you just end up buying, and you think it's the best thing ever. But a real professional is going to have a more than one line in their arsenal, and they're going to select the best tools from each.
Yeah, in this case, his case, I don't think he's just picking Milwaukee because of the name. I think Milwaukee probably has some of the better choices for mechanics. They've had the
They
better
just have the
ratchets.
ratchets, the smaller ratchets. But it's only the battery that's really. But you could get the same thing if you went with AC Delco.
I love DeWalt and all, man, but when that one mid torque that Josh sent me, dude, I freaking love that Milwaukee mid torque.
Sure,
It doesn't even need to be the most powerful. All it needs to do is bust lug nuts and suspensions, and it does that. It does everything.
sure.
So, uh, I would say mechanics pretty set with Milwaukee.
I don't even think Milwaukee's the best for mechanics
You
because
think DeWalt?
Milwaukee, yeah, the Milwaukee stuff will. As soon as you get fluids on it, it starts deteriorating.
No, that is a good point. I picked me up one of these the other day.
Sweet, oil resistant, like that.
Yeah, I haven't opened this one yet.
Look at that. B Dubs, his Cobalt ratchet outperforms his Milwaukee. Yeah. Well, if Milwaukee made an 18-volt ratchet, it'd probably be a good idea. It might actually propel them a little bit.
Yeah, but then they wouldn't sell their 12-volt stuff. Milwaukee's not going to do
We
that.
do appreciate the honesty, Joe. Yes, very well said, Danny. Um, I would just wanted to use the phrase Milwaukee and get it out there so people can hear it.
Maybe it's a regional thing, but
Told you.
here in
Gotcha.
New England,
He just,
NE, New England, is that what that is?
yeah, yes,
Okay,
Nebraska or New England or wherever. I don't know.
maybe Nebraska.
Hmm.
Uh,
Fan of tape measures with lights? No,
no,
never. Never needed one with the
Nope,
light. I've
never
got
needed
one
one.
with a light.
Let's just ask it. That's just, it's kind of like buying a car with a sunroof. It's just waiting to break. Now, I did buy a car with a sunroof, but that's because it had all the other features that I wanted. But I'm just waiting
That's
for
not
it to
true.
break. I've got all the warranties, so um, a light on a tape measure is so unneeded, man.
Yeah, I agree with you. Hold on, I gotta turn this heater down. I turned the gas on so that I'm not freezing, but
Oh
I
yeah,
also don't want to use sweat. My years, it's always the least productive, the ones that called off the most, that got the first layoffs. It didn't matter who you knew. This was in Ohio, by the way. Well, Jerry, your experience was different than mine. It didn't matter how good you were at the job. If you were the last one in, you were the first one to go.
yeah, the
Sunroof
least
doesn't
productive ones.
break
That's
if
what
you
it should
never
be.
open it. Yeah. Have light two now. Yep. Shadow line.
Yeah, dude, that's one of the favorite things with that DeWalt is the shadow line.
Yeah, that's the one reason why I think my rigid miter is better than the Glide Doctor, is because the Glide Doctor has a place for a laser, but no laser.
Really?
Yeah, none. No light, no laser, no nothing. It's just chop and pray. The
Bare
rigid,
bones,
you've
dude.
got
I'd have to get
shadow
me a
line.
laser if I had that.
At the rigid, you get the shadow line, and I'm taking
Yeah, I
the
like the
shadow line
shadow
over
lines.
laser. So that's
Mm-hmm.
just me personally. I like the shadow lines better.
Yeah, guaranteed to be straight. Laser could be a little bit off. Shadow
Well,
line's
that's
always
true. Yeah.
guaranteed.
Uh, I've not felt very well the last few days either. So
Merit
it's
layoffs make too
interesting.
much sense.
Yes, it's interesting that we're doing this tonight. I didn't really have any rhyme or reason. It's just Sunday 7. We've set it up for the last 4 years. We've been doing the show for 4 years.
Sunroof also fruity. Yes.
Yes. And I just
I got
look
two
at it and I'm
daughters.
like,
They like it.
my bad. Um,
Sorry.
I just look at all of this stuff, the unions, what they do, and it just irks me. Like they aggravate me. Because they don't give a rip about the actual people. Look when Yellow Freight, if you guys remember Yellow Freight, they used to be one of the largest LTL carriers in the country, which is less than truckload. LTL, less than truckload. They
Oh,
used
okay.
to be one of the largest LTL carriers in the country. The Teamsters said, "Hey, we're not going to allow you guys to ship freight unless you renegotiate our contract." So Yellow Freight said, "Okay, fine, we'll do that." 3 days. 3 days. Yellow Freight said, "If we renegotiate your contract, you're going to bankrupt the company. We won't be able to be in business anymore." Teamster said, "Nope, we got to renegotiate a contract." The company lasted for 3 days after they signed the contract. 30,000 people lost their job because they signed the Teamsters union contract. And that not only bankrupted the company, but how many of those people lost their everything and ended up having to go bankrupt themselves just because the union wanted, like, I think it was like another 15 cents a mile or 5 cents a mile or whatever it was. It just destroyed, just decimated that company. Hi,
Yeah.
Nick. How are you? Thank you, Enrique. I appreciate that. It's exactly what the Teamsters wanted. They didn't want
Talking about
they
unions, Nick.
yeah, they didn't believe that. Look at UPS. Another fine example of the unions at work. UPS, it was 2 or 3 years ago, they renegotiated their contract. They did a collective bargaining with UPS to get the drivers, the full-time drivers, more money. 20,000 people lost their jobs. 70 UPS facilities closed up. And it is directly related to the union and the terrible job that the union did because they were only worried about money. Profit, loss, and jobs didn't matter. The only thing that mattered was they could line their coffers and they could go on television and tell everybody, oh, look at the great job we did negotiating. Yeah, well, you negotiated 20,000 people out of work, 70 facilities closed. Congratulations.
Well,
They need their dues. They sure do. Unions may be good for employees, typically bad for company. I think they're bad for everybody. Uh, uh, what? UPS lost its deal with Amazon because of this new deal with the union. Now USPS has Amazon and can't handle it. It's a mess with shipping. It's awful, too. They have no souls. I don't know what gaggle something whatever put there, but thanks Hole for that. Hey, little Jimmy's here. What's up, little Jimmy? Union bosses got their money. They did. That's the. You know what? The union bosses do make a ton of money, and they don't have any labor into it. They don't have to do anything to get it. At least with a company like a real company, they've got to produce a product. They have to risk their capital. They're taking on a huge financial risk with owning and operating a company that manufactures anything. They're taking that risk. So if they get paid more than the bottom rung employee, God bless them. They should. They're the ones that had the vision, the talent, the know-how, the drive, the ambition, and the follow-through.
right.
The union guys ain't got to do shit. They got to sit on their duff. Work first, but I'll never join it. Good for you, Austin. You should never join a union. Wife had to deal with the union crap. She's so happy to finally retire, dude. I'm there with you. Oh, as soon as I could get out of the union, I was happy to do it. Unions have really done a number on the trucking. Talk to the people that used to build for Ford or Chevy here in the United States, and ask how the UAW has done for the actual employees. Yeah, it is great to say, well, we're making $105 an hour or whatever they make at the Ford plants or whatever. But there's also like a third of the employees that they used to have.
Right.
A lot of companies hire unqualified people to drive the semis cheap. Well, yeah, I mean, a business has a moral responsibility, and I'm going to say that they have a moral responsibility to return a profit to the people who invest in their company, because those people are also taking the risk of financial loss. So they have a moral responsibility. So they have to go out and hire union drivers to transport their stuff? If they do that and lose all of their profit, that means they'll lose their investors too. No, trucking companies should be responsible for making sure that their employees are trained and properly qualified to operate a motor vehicle, in particular a 60,000 pound rolling death machine. They have that responsibility because those employees are going to make sure that they are in business. When you have employees out there or companies out there that are doing dubious things, which is hiring unqualified, putting unqualified people out on the job or out on the streets, that's only going to lead to a lawsuit down the line. And most of them are just doing it for a money grab. A lot of them are, I hate to say this, as we've seen it more and more pop up in the news recently, illegal immigrants or what should I say,
Right.
unnaturalized immigrants that
Whatever it is. Yeah.
do not know how to even read stop signs. We just had a case of that here in Missouri. A dude drove several miles the wrong way on an interstate, on a highway, and didn't know he was going the wrong way because he couldn't read the signs. Of course, if you're going the wrong way, can't see the signs because it's the wrong way.
See, that's
the bottom line.
That's the state's fault. You need to have a wrong way sign. Like Mario Kart, man. Mario Kart.
Yeah.
You had that little guy on the cloud that would float and he would tell you if you're going the wrong way. We just need some of those everywhere for them. And they'll be just fine.
The big companies are making profits for C-suite and investors, usually the 1%, that's maybe the least educated statement I've ever read. Most of a company's, or the biggest expense a company has, any company has, is to their employees. Most businesses operate on a 3 to 5% profit margin. Or the family trucking business since I was 9. Dang. Don't drive at 9 though. And last year they put signs at the quick service that said if they find human waste on the truck, they won't work on. Oh, that's gross. That is terrible, Joe. Payroll's huge. Payroll's 55%. Oh, sorry. Yeah, my bad. If you're going the wrong way, you should be able to read the signs in your rear view mirror or in your side mirrors.
Oh, yeah.
I knew what you meant, Denny. Or I knew what you meant, Nix. Yeah. We don't speak communism here. Nope. If your guys are looking for a communist sympathizer, I ain't it. Jesus. I've lived through too many regime changes around the world to think that communism is a good idea.
No.
Oh, I don't know what Just Beat It said, but you got. Thanks, Ahole. Always forget it's delayed a bit. Nope, you're good. You're good. Oh, wrong way signs. That's funny. You're assuming the drivers have have their mirrors adjusted. Oh, well, that's true. My bad. No, I look at all of this stuff. You watch the news, you see all this stuff going on. How in the devil can you be pro-union in today's day and age? It just makes no sense.
I don't know. It just depends, I guess, where you're at too.
Well, I mean, does it? Name a place that unions work well. Maybe, Nick.
Apparently, the roofing ones do pretty well, but also there's way less steps for a roof.
Mm-hmm.
Where electrical, right? You got to have the layout guys. You got to have the underground guys. There might even be a separate guy that has just the glue can, and the other guy might have the sledgehammer. That might be his job. This guy's gluing the pipe. This guy's got the 2x4 with the sledgehammer to bang them together. And you better not switch, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
But, you got wire pullers. You got conduit runners. You got MC. You got termination. You got
backwoods.
A bunch of different things to build a building. My buddy's a roofer, and the union's treating him pretty well. And maybe because there's less steps.
You're good, Ted. I hope your kids say, all right. I hope it's nothing too serious. Unless something changes in the next 5 to 10 years, we're going to see some really hard times, but using owner operators is probably going to make some really good pay. Yeah, I mean, if you're in the trucking industry, I think the Teamsters union has an expiration date on it. And I mean, it's unfortunately it's well past when the milk was already sour. They put that the expiration date, the pie in the sky expiration date on it, and then it soured after like 2 weeks. But they've got
This
like
dude,
another 10 months to go.
this dude here is Sancho for the Union. Kane's Lab lays pipe for the Union.
Oh, you're a pipe layer for the union? Good for you. Can you do anything other than lay the pipe? Or do they come to your job site? Do they have the guy with the clipboard, the union rep, that makes sure that you're not going outside of your purview, which is their favorite word to use? You're not going outside of your job description and doing anything extra, even if it will increase your productivity and make the job go faster. I'm with you, Bob. Unions, in his opinion, are the saving grace for bad employees. Just his experience. And that's 100%. I'm in the same boat with you. As long as you're paying and you've been paying longer than somebody else in the union, they're always back you up. Like an operator, I act like a operator sometime. Okay, that's good for you. Where you at? I know you're not in New York. I remember the unions in my city were being shady. I think all unions are shady. Union stewards, the last refuge of laziness. That's spot on there, backwoods. JT, I have a mixed feelings. I was in the carpenters unions working in New York City when I was younger, and just from a worker perspective, it did deliver my family value by providing top family health coverage. That is one thing that the unions do allow you to do, is by the law of large numbers, the number of members they have in their
Yeah.
union,
Yeah, the
they
more
are
people you
able to
have.
go out and secure health insurance for the organization that will reduce costs by spreading it
Right.
out across everybody.
Right. Right.
So it is good in that manner. But for the relationship that you have with, if you want to ruin a relationship on a job site, bring in a union. If you've got a great if you've got a great relationship with your boss, and everything goes on to, you get paid on time, jobs get done, you get to do more quickly, and you can rise up through the company, introduce a union into that, see what happens.
No.
Yes, unions are simply far too left. Interesting that we're talking about different type of tool tonight. Is that the double D or the D size friend that you and your mom share? Is that the one you're talking about? I just want to make sure. My shop has better benefits now since the Deemsters left a few years. Oh, wow. Harold, that's an interesting perspective. And we give merit raises. Again, that is something that you don't get to do very often, is you don't get merit raises when you're in a union, because everything is collectively bargained. And by that, it means you are collectively lobotomized. You can't do any thinking. You can't show any initiative. You're locked into the limited scope of whatever it is that they've bargained for you. Oh my God! Listen to this, Bob the Builder, Amber. We affectionately know Bob the Builder as Amber. It's a short story that we don't care to get into. I was in a commercial maintenance union. We used to have to take classes and tests. They always gave the answer last 20 minutes. What BS is that? Well, they wanted to make sure that you were there. Without unions, you get no raises to meet basic inflation. That is, again, the dumbest thing ever. That is not true. People have been getting raises from their businesses for decades now, even since the Industrial Revolution. You know who invented the weekend? Henry freaking Ford. You know what he didn't have? A union. You know who
No.
invented the minimum wage? Henry Ford. Henry Ford was the first one that says we'll pay you X amount to come in and do this. Before that, it was all negotiated or piecework. But Henry Ford said we'll give you an hourly wage. Union didn't do that. Everyone gets the same pay for the same job. Initiative that you're talking about keeps people apart. Fighting back. It's again, you are probably mentally unstable, Radis. Initiative is what makes a great employee or a good employee a great employee. Unionization makes everyone the same. That's why there is no drive, no determination, and no ability to maneuver up. Why would you want to be paid the same? The best deserve the highest wage, get paid what you're worth,
Yep.
not what the union says. Your raise wage have not kept up with basic. That's not true. That's not true. That's just not true. You are very, very uneducated when it comes to this subject, and I feel sorry for you, Radist. I really do, because it's that type of blind faith that keeps unions going long past their usefulness.
Which you started the live with.
Yep. We haul cattle when we now have a BQA, or we have to be BQA certified, which basically means we knew how to move cattle. Every few years, they put us in a room, feed us steaks, and say we passed the test. It's nice. Ah, nice, Joe. Radis, it's not a personal attack to tell you that you're uninformed because you don't know what you're talking about. It's simply the truth. And if the truth bothers you that much, I don't really care. Actually, ma'am, you don't. You don't know more than anybody. As a matter of fact, you're probably the least informed person here. It doesn't keep up with basic inflation. Stupid. That's a stupid argument. You're both mentally unstable and uninformed.
Yeah, if you know your self-worth, you can keep up with basic inflation. You just got to go to the table and be like, hey, need more money.
Yeah.
You don't need somebody to do that for you.
Yeah. So if you're in a union, you do not have the ability to raise yourself up.
Right.
You are just what they say you're worth. That's it. It's all based on tenure, how long you've been there. You get your annual pay increase. It's not more, it's not less. It's just what it is. Thank you, Austin, for becoming a member. I appreciate that. It is just what you are. Now, when you're not in a union and you have the ability to go out there and increase your skill set, making yourself a more valuable asset to the business, guess what? They're going to pay you more because they don't want to lose you. I'm with you,
Right.
Milwaukee guy. What the devil is that face? Somebody just shared a face of somebody. Cool.
I don't know.
Sounds a whole lot like Sarah's burner page. No, Sarah would need Chat GPT to make an argument for him. And that you're also obligated to not work when they mandate a strike. That's true. That's true.
Right.
And you go unpaid. You go unpaid. I appreciate it, Austin. Thank you. The only pay complicated, I don't know, is when you are part of a family business. Ask me how I know. I'm trying to figure out what that one word might mean, Joe. Correct that word and let me know what it is so that I can update it and then read it correctly. So sorry, buddy. Doesn't matter if you need the paycheck or not. Crossing that union line is seen as true. It's true. You get scab labor. The only time pay is complicated is when it's well, yeah, because when it's a family business and times are lean, you don't get paid.
No,
I well, I
that's kind
hate
of
to
like
tell
running
you this.
YouTube.
True. I hate to tell you this. I've started seven businesses in my time, 7 businesses in my lifetime, and I didn't take money for years when I started
Right,
them.
right.
I'd work there. There are times where the lights got shut off at my house because I didn't have the money to pay. It's just what it is. But I made sure that all of my people had their money and they got fed. But sometimes you just have to, as a business owner, you have to bite the bullet and you can't take the time. You can't take the money out of the business. Your money has to go back into the business to make sure it's working. You have to go back out to the workforce, work for somebody else while you're running a business just to have enough income coming in to provide. And it sucks, but it happens every single day. Every single entrepreneur that's out there, they didn't walk in and immediately find success.
Yeah, this is off topic, but
What
I
is
saw
this?
something. You know how, YouTube likes
Tom Jones.
to keep their topics.
Mm,
Go ahead.
sorry. Tom, this is where Google doesn't match reality because you're doing a broad base thing here. You're looking at the broad base. Do you know that the average construction worker makes well above minimum wage? Well above. But your little Google search that you're so proud of because you're uneducated about this subject doesn't take into account that. It looks at people working part-time, the number of people that are working on minimum wage, the number of people that are working retail. You're uneducated about this, Tom. So just sit down, shut up. Maybe you'll learn. And you're a member here. You've been around for a while. You should know this stuff by now. Jesus. No.
I didn't see who you're talking to.
Tom Jones.
Yeah, I've got it on live chat.
He was like, you could just Google that. That thing when people have to Google their opinion just tells you how uneducated they are.
Yeah. Hey, what's your opinion on this? It's a little bit within the same topic. One of the creators that makes content on things that YouTube doesn't necessarily like. Okay. He's been given so many days.
It's not a do-rag, it's a hat.
He's got to remove all of the links off of every video. He's got like 2,000 videos, and this is what he is complaining about: was that his livelihood was based on those links.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where he's making his money. He wasn't making it on ad revenue. He wasn't making it on a community. He wasn't making it on anything except for his website.
Links. Yeah.
Right. Would you ever put yourself in a position to be on a social media and put all your eggs in that basket and
Nope.
then have a wife and 2 kids trying to support yourself on YouTube? Like, just
Nope.
that's so wild to me, man. It's hard to feel sorry for somebody like that has to put out that video. Like, that sucks. But also, what are you doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. When I was working, I always tried to maintain at least 3 different
Revenue. Yeah.
revenue generators, right?
Right.
So work, investments, whatever. But I
Side
always
work,
try to
whatever.
have
Yeah.
3. I
Yeah.
always had to try to have 3. When I was planning my retirement, 4. Because Social Security was guaranteed. I knew I was going to get it. It's not guaranteed to everybody anymore, but I knew I was going to get it. Investments, real estate, and then my 401k, my retirement plans that I
Right.
invested in over the years. Those were my pillars. Now, sometimes it doesn't work out. One of those pillars might have to go away because your health is garbage. That's typically what will happen. You'll have to reduce one or completely eliminate it. But if you have multiple revenue streams, you can pretty much weather most storms without going completely destitute or bankrupt. But every once in a while, it doesn't. Tom Jones, again, when you're talking about averages, and I'm going to try to spell this out to you in very simple terms because I know it needs to be simple. When you're talking about averages, you're trying to paint everything with a broad brush. It means you're not educated on the subject. I want you to look at specific industries. Oh, wait, you can't because Google won't tell you unless you know what to tell it to look for. It's a lack of education on your part. That's why you believe this garbage. It's why probably you'll end up working for somebody your entire life. And they'll get wealthy because they understand the actual nuances of a conversation, and you won't. Hi, Christopher. You're just digging your grave deeper there, Tom. At some point, you're just going to have to just sit down, like you when you pee. Just sit down. Let the grown folks talk. Maybe you'll learn something. It's 125 an hour. Oil and tiremen make less. Yes, that's true. The more valuable you are, the more you're worth. A union limits how valuable you are. The idea wages have been done anything but go down as a joke. Tom, the joke is that you believe that they've gone down. I hate to tell you this, but the more they increase the minimum wage, the less your dollar is worth. And why do they increase the minimum wage? It's to creep stupid people to vote for them. Minimum wage is meant for minimum skill. It's not meant to be a lifestyle. And yet you've got more people working for minimum wage now because the minimum wage is so high that businesses can't afford to increase pay for
Right.
minimal
It just
skilled
leads.
workers.
Yeah, you just build stupider people, pretty much.
Yeah.
So you got people making $16 an hour. I started electrical at $12 and then didn't make 16 until almost.
Hey, too.
I got my journeymans when I was making $16 an hour. $16 an hour is a
Yeah.
lot of money, man. It's a lot of money for an unskilled worker. And when you increase minimum wage, the business owner has to pay stupid people that's making him the same amount of money as he was before. It's just a vicious cycle. You're not creating any wealth. You're just creating less skilled workers by the masses
Mm-hmm.
and then devaluing skilled workers at the same time.
Well, minimum wage laws are a tax on business. That's
Yeah,
truly what it
pretty
is.
much that's what it is. They're just gonna pass it off to. That's why
So
there's no more freaking dollar menu at McDonald's.
when you tax a business, there's only 2 things they can do. They can increase their costs, the cost of their goods and services, or
They're gonna eat it.
they can limit the amount of new people they can bring in, new trainings that they can do, and new skills that they can allow their people to acquire.
Right.
Because the available monies that go into those things are unavailable, which is why we have an fairly incompetent workforce right
No,
now.
we have an very competent generation, not just the workforce.
The
This
minimum wage is
generation
not good.
coming up, my kid, dude,
Yes,
that
yes,
that
wages
whole
have
age
kept up
group
with
is
inflation. Inflation's 2 point something percent, dude. Suck it up, buttercup.
most people my age, assuming that they're actually skilled, only just got out of their college, master's, doctorate degree less than 4 years ago, and they're not even using their doctorate or their master's or their bachelor's degree for what they're doing, by
No,
the way.
no,
And
they just signed up for
they have
lifelong debt.
$40,000 of student loan debt as well. At least.
Yeah. And automate, example, fast food businesses. Yeah, automation. It's a huge one. Miss the dollar manual. Hey, we still get the dollar. I think they're $1.50 drinks now at McDonald's. I don't know. Printing money causes inflation. I think Ronald Reagan said it best when he talked about inflation. Inflation isn't the result of uh, America not making enough money. It's the result of the government spending too much.
Yeah.
Oh, apparently our check got disconnected for a second. Sorry. PA is 7.25, dude. When I started, I think minimum wage was $2.15. I started 1988 at $10 an hour as a roofer.
Yeah.
14 years old, hot tar on a roof, cleanup crew, laborer, whatever. $10 an hour. And I was happy at $10 an hour because we had factory jobs where adults were working. I was 14. I was not an adult, but we had factory jobs where adults were working at $10 an hour, making 5 times the minimum wage. Just saying.
No.
You do know you can look up the inflationary rate there, Tom. Just use your favorite Google and where
What
you
is it
get
right
your
now?
opinions. It's like 2.5. We don't have an inflation. We don't have inflation because people are living too well. We have inflation because the government is living too well. That's a good one. Thank you. Went to Sonic yesterday, junior cheeseburger for $2.
Mm-hmm.
I got dang. Two old guys mad, not realizing that living on $7 an hour is not pot. Trickle pick. I'm guessing that's because you got a little dick. That's why you named yourself that. That's not what's going on here. And you frankly don't have the brains to understand it. I don't have the time or crayons needed to get it down to your Sesame Street level.
The meat was the size of a quarter. Yeah.
Designed equipment to automate food assembly. Sure did. As Tom said he was, what? I think the disconnect is Tom said he was in Australia. Oh, God.
So by that guy's theory, he thinks he should make $20 an hour. That way, all the food can be 3 times the price. So now that he's making $20 an hour, instead of spending $2 for milk, he can spend $8 for milk.
Perfect.
And then his money goes in the exact same rate being spent.
Sure. What is there a minimum number of employees? Yes, there is.
JN.
Yeah, there is, especially in Missouri, because in Missouri, if you have fewer than 50 employees, there is no minimum wage. You don't have to pay anybody working for you minimum wage. You can pay them $3 $4, whatever you
Interesting.
got. It's not like that everywhere, but it is here in Missouri. New York is, I don't think New York's like that. I think New York is, if we say it's 15, which it's $15 there now, then you have to pay 15. Here's what I have
Gunter.
to ask you guys about the minimum wage folks. The ones that think that you're supposed to live on minimum wage because you're a simpleton.
Gunter. How long you? Sorry. Go ahead.
What skills does a minimum wage employee have that make them worth more than Joe Blow off of the street that you can get there and train in 5 minutes?
Right.
Because that's what minimum wage is. It's for minimum skills. It's not
Right.
maximum wage. They don't call it the maximum wage. That's right. Minimum wage is for high school kids.
Working
New York
summer
wants to move it
jobs.
to 30. Jesus.
Wow.
Yeah. The simpletons
Gunter,
don't
how long
understand. They
you
just
been
want
working your prevailing wage job?
prevailing wage, good money.
Yeah, but here's the deal. Money comes and goes. You're going to spend your money.
Yeah.
Don't change your lifestyle. That's all I'm going to tell you. Don't change your lifestyle and secure your raises while you're at the job. You might be making 51 now. Your regular rate might be 28, might be 35. I don't know. Make
25.
sure before you leave that job that you have signed for a raise or something that's going to match the lifestyle you're living now. You've been there for a year. You hopefully you've had 2 raises before you get out of there. Yeah, you're making 25 now. I would ask for 28. I would say I want $28 when I leave this job site. Thank you very much. You need to do that.
Yep. That's the chat
Please,
again.
if there's one thing you get from it tonight, do that. Go talk to your project manager, whoever it is.
Mhm.
Be like, hey man, prevailing wage. I know it's not your responsibility to make me rich. You know, you want to pay me what you want to pay me, but also this is my lifestyle. I've been making this much money for a year.
Mhm.
We have bought some things, indulged a little bit, whatever, man. I need something, motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like you need to tell them, hey, I need more money. I need more money.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because your lifestyle changes.
It's true.
I did that for 3 years. I was the scapegoat at a job. I volunteered for a parking garage because no one else was competent enough to do it. There was 6 white hats. I was still a yellow hat. There was 6 white hats on the job. They fired them all. When I was working from 4 a.m. until the sun came up, watching the concrete pours, I would go inside and I would lay out the guys for what they needed to be doing because nobody was keeping the job moving. Then I would go home and go to sleep and then do it all over again. When I get there, I
Right.
have to be on top of the rebar, on top of the post tensions, weaving PVC in between all that crap, laying down the deck boxes, and then the concrete would come. And then I'd watch the pour, dog tired, go lay out the guys that didn't have to lay out, and then I would go home. And I did that for a while. Then they started firing all the people that were supposed to be supervising inside. So now all the supervisors, except for one foreman, is left on the job. We got a couple of lead men, myself, and we had like 3 or 4 helpers. And they're asking me, hey, what happened inside? Dude, I don't know. My job was a parking garage. And guess what? It's done and there's no problems. So I can't help you. I was a scapegoat for that job. So I went from making $63 an hour back to $22.50. And that was 2 years of $63 an hour. And I talked to the project manager. I was like, hey, man, I need to be making what I need to be making because I haven't had a raise in almost 3 years. Something's got to give. I was a scapegoat of that job. Didn't get a raise within 6 months. I had to go do something else. And that's how I became an inspector.
So Nick wants to ask everyone in the chat, Who here is skilled in the trades and is making anywhere close to minimum wage? That is 100% accurate.
Yeah,
I know
that's
it's
accurate.
extremely small subset of data, but still should drive the point home. Yeah, the thing is, the trades, you're not working at minimum wage. You're always coming in at above. I don't think there's a minimum wage job available in the trades right now because they
No,
can't
they
get
want to
enough
hang on to
people in
you.
there.
Yeah, they
They,
need to hang on to you. You can make a move if you want. They're
yeah,
not
you
going to tell
can't
you
get
no.
enough.
You can ask for $2 raises
Here in
every year.
Missouri, even a laborer starting out at 16, and this is Missouri, it's fairly inexpensive to live here, which is why I like it. But it's not uncommon to find guys that are making 40, 45, $50 an hour as a framer, as a union or a non-union laborer.
I had a
You can find
ridiculous
those
amount of
guys out there.
money offered to go do something for somebody, and I just like being an inspector, man. But if I did want to get back out there, there's a crap ton of money to make as an electrician here in
Where are
Texas.
you, Austin, that you're making minimum wage in the trades? What are you doing, Austin? And where are you that you're making minimum wage in the trades? Because I've never heard of anybody making minimum wage in the trades.
I just started for the trades last year. I'll admit that I don't really know anything about
Enrique,
anything. That's why I'm making minimum wage. Yeah, you
I
need to
hear
ask for
you,
more money.
Rod. Oh, he's in California. No wonder minimum wage out there. You're probably stuck, because you're in California. The
Yeah,
business
you're already
can't
making too much
afford it.
money.
Yeah, the business can't afford it. Is that I am lucky to get $12 to $15 an hour when I average between 90 and 130 hours a week. Joe,
What
the
part of
devil are you
California? Maybe
doing?
Josh will hire you.
What the devil are you doing, Joe? Jesus criminy. You know there are other states you guys could live in.
Yeah, no kidding.
Well, you're supposed. Again, a laborer here in Missouri is making $16 an hour. $16 an hour as a laborer. And that's only
It's a
for
lot of money.
90 days. That's 90 days. Then they give you a raise. Like that's your probationary period. And then they give you a raise when they hire you full time. Oh, you're okay. Epoxy. 1650. Still, dude. 3 to 4 months. Good deal. Sorry, I'm reading the comments. I actually read the comments behind my screen here because it's bigger. I have to strain my eyeballs. The best way
Yeah.
to make more money is to get a job, take what you can get, but keep searching for a better wage. The best way to to make more money is to increase your skill set. Make yourself more valuable for a job. That's the best way. Or just do your own thing. Be your own boss.
Lieutenant Colombo got a job and
See? Look
secured
at him.
a maintenance position
Yeah,
just
by
from
the way,
watching YouTube.
go support your Lieutenant Colombo. He's got a YouTube channel here on YouTube. Go make sure you sign up and subscribe over there if you like his stuff. Family trucking business. They spent 3 days fixing a headlight on a truck. Got paid $1,000 for the month, but it's a family business. So you've got probably no overhead. It's just all money for you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Brett. Production welder here are only 15 to 20 bucks an hour if you're good. That's still above minimum.
Yeah.
What? Does he say just one more question? Does who say, Rod? I don't know what you're talking about. I contemplated on doing custom kids' playhouses. What do you think, guys? If that's what you're want to do with your life, do it.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, we don't talk politics here.
Custom kids, you think about like building them like a Craigslist kind of thing and get your name out there and you're going to build all the things, or you're going to like make your own?
Build them on YouTube. If you're going to do it, build them on YouTube and sell the plans to people. You'll make more money than if you actually did the building yourself.
Yeah, just
And you don't even read it. If you've got like a CAD builder, you you could do all of the design and whatnot on the internet or through the CAD, post it on the internet behind a paywall, charge people $5 for the plans.
um, make sure you got insurance, building things like that, and you know,
Yeah. Probably talking about
you'd
Columbo
almost need to be like
catchphrase. I don't.
engineered, I guess. But you need an engineer seal to like protect yourself from.
Nope. To sell plans on the internet? No.
No, for the design, like when you build it,
Yes,
like
George. Uh-uh.
someone
Because
can
you're
see
not
you
the
if
one
it
doing the
like they
building.
fall off, and I don't
Look,
know. Hang
they sell
on.
woodworking plans all the time.
Hi.
Where's your other son? Sorry, Rod. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, what are you gonna bring back?
Five Guys.
Five Guys?
He's always in the
Chick-fil-A's
mood for
closed.
Five
What
Guys.
about just get Cane's?
Sometimes six.
Yeah, I
Uh,
want a sweet tea.
Columbia building. I don't know what Columbo's building tonight.
Were you about an hour away? All right, love you.
By the sound of the
Bye.
Angela, I think it's time for us to go. Where did I play ball? Tokyo and Rome. The YouTube idea you guys. No, the YouTube idea you guys were talking about. Oh, no, that wasn't
Bad.
Columbo. No, Lou or Two was talking about maybe doing some custom kids playhouses, and I was like, you
Yeah,
probably make more
Rodney.
money if you just do a CAD and sell the plans online. Hi,
Yeah.
I'm not reading your name, but I say hi.
Oh, damn. That's pretty
Nope,
bad.
nope. What a terrible internet mechanics out there. Sure do. Yeah. Good for you, Joe. I didn't know you were. Do you have a channel? Is it under Joe Hass 93? What's the name of your channel? We'll send some folks over to you if we can. Oh, okay. So, reach out to me if you want. My wife is an architect. Good for you, Nick. Sound like you married up, my man. Married an architect. Dude, don't think about it. Most people, it's analysis or paralysis by analysis. They think too much and do too little. Just jump in. Just start. You're going to suck to start out with. Everybody does, but you get better over time.
Dude, a timber frame joinery class sounds very expensive, but also really, really cool.
Do it.
Yeah.
Do it, Joe. Just do it. I I bet you've eaten your brother's eggs. Always wanted to pretend to be an architect. Somebody's a Seinfeld fan. All right, guys, we're out of here. Got anything to say to the folks before we leave?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. I'm going to upset a few folks tomorrow. I know that with my short form video release. It shouldn't be controversial because it's just data, but it's like I've been able to verify the data. So I went out and got the top selling battery starter kits for all of last year.
Yeah.
One name dominates the top 10. It's not Milwaukee.
Nice.
So that'll come out tomorrow, and then people will be really, really. Thank you, James. I appreciate that.
That wouldn't
No,
surprise me, cheeseburger.
it is not ryobi. But that's it. We're out of here. So for all you Makita guys out there, don't forget, blow them like you know them. And for the rest of you, manscape like you landscape. If you trim your bush, your deck will always look big. And who doesn't want a big deck? Take it easy, guys. We'll see you next
Appreciate
Sunday.
JT. See you guys.